What's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm Turbo John. We're down here at Randy's shop. We're down in Wilmington, North Carolina, RJ's Motorsports and Collision. Randy's hot rod is on the lift. If you saw the last video with Randy's car, we were at Piedmont. Car leaned out, half track, leaned out for about a second. We lost fuel pressure. We did not have a safety on there for fuel pressure because you can't put a fuel pressure safety on it other than like less than 90. So if we said, okay, well, base pressure is 90, and as you add a pound of boost, it adds a pound of fuel pressure. So you can't really do a safety based on that delta, right? Because it's constantly changing. So fuel pressure is climbing. So if we had said, okay, 120 pounds of fuel pressure is our safety, but we were at 45 pounds of boost, it still would have been lean. So what I did is I did create a safety on it, but the safety is now with closed loop compensation. So I like to run Holly at 10%. I gave it to 15% correction, and so now at 12%, if it ever goes back to 12% again for 0.2 of a second, then it's going to revert to wastegate. So the game plan, if he's going down the track and it loses fuel pressure or leans out or a fuel filter clogs up, if anything happens that just is enough for it to lean out past that 12% closed loop, then it'll revert to wastegate, dump all the boost off of it, it's going to fall on his face, and he's going to say something's wrong, and he's going to let off the gas. I guess we should have thought that through a little bit before. I do have an oil pressure safety on it now. We've had that for a while, but it was basically just if the car is running, but it actually has cut ignition. I need to do some thinking. I wish Holly, I don't know if Fuel Tech does it or not, but on these safeties, and my two options are cut ignition and revert to wastegate. Cut ignition, from what I remember on my car, I had it like that for a while, and it was very violent, and it would pop and cut off, and then it would come back on. So, you know, if it's doing that, then that's not really good on things either. It'd be nice if it would do like a soft rev limiter, right? So instead of a revert to wastegate, or well, some of them could be revert to wastegate, but instead of a cut ignition, it would be like a rev limiter, like 500 RPM rev limiter. To where if you're going or cruising down the pit, or, you know, revving it up, and then you could select it, but it would do a rev limiter. But as far as I know, Holly doesn't do that. You know, I might be able to, I wonder if I could create an advanced table. I might be able to tag an advanced table into that, to where if the safety is activated, we might be able to do that. Advanced table that it is activated. Man, we might have just solved it. Put a rev limit or a RPM offset on it, to where it shuts it, you know, pulls a bunch of RPM out of it, and it'll either shut it off. I need to look into that. So we might have figured it out. But we're down here, we're gonna pump the motor. Talk to Dan at Race Flow Development. Those guys built the engine. We did have a couple cylinders that looked pretty bad, pretty lean, but we think it's probably okay. We're definitely gonna look at the bearings. We're gonna look at rod bearings, because rod bearings is what takes the brunt of it. But we're gonna pump the motor. We did pump the motor in February, so we got a pretty good idea on what it should be, but we're going to see if we got any cylinders that are down. We're probably going to leak it down as well and see if we see anything. Comment, like, and subscribe. Stay tuned. Check it out. All right, guys, so we're pumping the motor. I wanted to show you, this is what a dead hole looks like. This is what a completely dead hole looks like. So this is the numbers we got so far. Obviously, they're not good. The 90 is the first pump, and the 170 is after 4 revolutions. There ain't no plugs in it. So this is the way I pump them. Everybody pumps them a little bit different, as long as you do it the same way. We didn't put any oil in it. We didn't do anything to make the rings seal better. This is just a cold motor, which the air temperature is like, it's like 90 degrees in the shop. So this is nice and warm. So you can see number 3 over here definitely does not look the greatest, 85 and 40. But then these over here, number 6 and number 7 was the hottest EGTs we had. But that number 7, I'm still on number 7 over here now. So number 7 is 5, 6, 7. So it's this one back here. I want to show you, I'm just going to show you what this does with when you hit it. This is what a dead hole looks like. So you see, that's what, I mean, it's dead. We got no compression there. So let me put it in another one here, and I'll show you. Maybe it'll pump, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The first pump. All right, guys. So now we're in hole number 8 over here. Check this out. Sorry, turn. So yeah, so number is about 70 and 150 ish, and you know, there again, you can do it a couple times. So, and obviously if you hold it longer, the longer you hold it, the more it cranks. So Uncle Micah is over here, and Jim and Brian's over there. Jennifer's over here too, she's over here. So Mike, I think, what we gotta do here? What we gotta do in this situation?
We're gonna pull it out and do it right.
So we gotta pull it out. So obviously the cylinders got hot. Number six got hotter than number 7, but that just shows you EGT don't mean everything all the time. So, but this one was really hot too. These were the 2 where the plugs looked the worst too.
I'm thinking rings.
Yeah, it's probably overheated the rings. That's what happens, right, when you get super hot. Now these are not in their spots anymore. They got turned over. But if y'all looked at the last video, remember they don't. And see, that's the thing. They don't look terrible. But remember that little short strap right there, and then the way it's got the black in the porcelain, you could tell that it was hurt. I had a feeling that it had probably hurt a head gasket or the rings. We know we gotta do bearings on it. We absolutely, I mean, an aluminum rod is like a shock absorber. So they cut the oil filter apart, didn't find any material in the oil filter. Oil filter looks good, so that's not bad. So probably not, obviously not wiped the bearings out of it yet, so that's a good thing. The fuel filter, we showed you last time, there's a lot of material in the fuel filter. We're going to go ahead, and he's tried to find Rage is out of business now. Unfortunately, the owner passed away, and it looks like the shop is just gone. And apparently, they custom build these pumps to your application for the flow. So from what he's found so far, we don't have anybody that can rebuild this pump. So if y'all know anybody, get in the comments if you don't mind. Let us know if a fuel pump rebuild is available. Anybody that might be able to do the Rages, because if we can find somebody, we'd love to have that for a spare. He did get up with Spud over at Fuel Injection Enterprises, and we're just going to get a little Bertha. Pump. So hopefully, we can do this one as a spare and not just have it as a counterweight. So let's snatch. We know the motor's got to come out. There ain't no need in leaking it down or none of that other stuff. It ain't got no cranking compression, and these are your numbers. So yeah, so that's not good. So I mean, we got to tear it apart. So let's I'm gonna pull the fuel filter off of it. We're gonna pull not the fuel filter, the fuel pump. We're gonna pull it apart and actually look at it. Hopefully, I mean, that's a 40 micron filter, I think it is, or maybe it's a 10. It may be a 10. That's the system 1. It's a screw-on canister, so that thing flows a lot. But hopefully that has caught most of the metal. That's reusable. We can clean it. But we are going to get Austin over at Dragwire Solutions. We're going to get him to go ahead and clean the injectors and make sure we clean all the fuel system really good, because we don't want, any issues with that. So I'm going to get a pump off of it. Let's pull that apart and we'll see what that looks like. Hang on. All right, so here is the insides of the Rage pump. So, I mean, it's just this is the way most of them are. So it's got 2 of these. It's just like an oil pump. It's gears, they intermesh. You can see there's a few pieces of stuff on it. These were a little loose, but the plates, they have a backing plate. So that's a backing plate, and then this is a backing plate, and this is wore out. So that is probably why it lost pressure, because it didn't lose all pressure, but it did lose most because the gear was moving, and now it can't create the seal that it needs because you've got clearance. So this is probably all it needs. I mean, these are kind of wore out a little bit, but they're not terrible. So, I mean, they're just thick gears. What's funny, though, is when I was pulling it out, they use a BB to hold this gear in place. That is That's wild. That is wild. So that's the inside of a Rage. So, I mean, we got it apart. These things, I mean, they're mechanical devices, so it's pretty easy. Basically, the fuel comes in this big port here. This is a dash 20. It goes up. A lot of people, and I thought it for a long time, thought that it pushes through here. That's actually not what happens. These run, that one goes that way and this one goes this way. And it takes the fuel and it circles around this way and then goes out to the outlets. And that's how it moves so much fuel. And the way it's determined how much fuel it uses is how thick this gear is. I think it's got to do with the pitch, you know, the number of teeth. It's got a whole bunch of different scenarios in it. So there you go. All right, guys, it is hot. Got a little sweat on, so the engine's got to come out like we were saying. It's just one of those things. I think we've created a safety now, so we're going to be in good shape so it doesn't happen again. But unfortunately, we got to pull the heads off of it. So Uncle Mike's going to come over here in the next day or two, next week early, get the motor out. That way we can get it on the engine stand and start working on it. All right, guys, but that's going to be it for today. I appreciate it. Comment, like, and subscribe. We will see you in the next video. Appreciate it.